our first warm-up problem, 5x squared minus 2 equals 13. We'll add 2. 5x squared equals 15. Divide by 5. X squared equals 3. Take the square root. What do you have to put in front? Plus or minus the square root of 3. Raise your hand if you got that one. All right. Raise your hand if you can tell me why there is no letter I in this problem. Cassie. Perfect. There's no negative inside of the square root. I don't want you to think every time you see a square root there has to be an I. All right. Problem 2. Add 4. 2. X minus 2 squared equals 32. Divide by 2. X minus 2 squared equals 16. Take the square root. Remember parentheses, you have to branch off. You get x minus 2 equals 4. X minus 2 equals negative 4. So I get the answer is x equals 6. X equals negative 2. Raise your hand if you got those. Ooh, okay. All right. That one seems to be the one that seems to trick people up because they forget the parentheses have to turn into straight lines. We'll discuss that later. Okay. Remember, when you're working on a warm-up, when I give you 7 minutes, you should be able to at least attempt all 3. Right? In 7 minutes. Okay. So if you don't know how to do that one, make sure you move on. Skip it. Try to get part of it at least, and then move on. Okay. Finally, number 3. You add 4. Negative x squared equals 18. Divide by negative 1. X squared equals negative 18. Take the square root. Now, what does that break up into? Dalton, do you have a question? It does, yes. But it's going to break up into negative 1 times 9 times 2. So I get 3. That negative becomes what letter? I. Square root of 2. So the plus or minus, those are my 2 answers. Any questions on that problem? Okay. Want to know for it? No. So today we're going to use the quadratic formula, something most of you have seen before. And here is our lovely quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then I have a few notes here you definitely need to write down. It's about the discriminant. The discriminant is the part underneath the square root sign. And actually, by doing the discriminant, there are problems like when you hit calculus or you hit algebra 3, that you're not going to have to do the entire quadratic formula. So if the discriminant is positive, you get 2 real answers. If it's equal to 0, I get 1 real answer. And if it's negative, I get 2 imaginary answers. Let's look at the graph with you. So there are 3 types of graphs that we need to look at because there are 3 types of discriminants, right? So I'm going to draw 3 little graphs here. And underneath them, I'm actually going to label them. I'm going to use the letter D for discriminant. So if the discriminant is positive, greater than 0 is positive, right? This one's going to be if my discriminant is equal to 0. And this last graph will be if my discriminant is negative, meaning it's less than 0. So if my discriminant is positive, what did we write down in that section? How many x-intercepts should I have? I should have 2 x-intercepts. So I'm going to draw a graph here. Notice that it touches the x-axis twice. That's all. Discriminant is 0. Somebody raise your hand and describe to me what it would look like if the discriminant is 0 could touch the y-axis. So neither Sean nor Mason are wrong, but they're not 100% correct. Can't be sideways. If the graph had been x equals y squared, that's when it goes sideways. It's actually when it just touches 1. 1. Anywhere on that x-axis, but only at one spot. So Sean said in the center, and Mason said it touches the y-axis, so that kind of gets both of them that same answer, right? But it could be anywhere on that x-axis, but it only touches 1. What is the description? Negative. Question. What would that look like? All right, Sean. Doesn't touch at all. So it's up there. Doesn't actually get the whole way down to that axis. Another example. Something down there. Just a frowny face. So any questions on the graph? Okay. We're going to do a problem here in a minute, but before we do that problem, we're actually going to try to memorize the quadratic formula. Now, the reason you need to memorize it, if you've taken the keystones, most of you have taken them, most of you have passed them already. Some of you just retook them recently. On the keystones, they don't give you the quadratic formula. It's not on the formula sheet. If you go to take a placement test at BC3, it's not on their formula sheet. Okay? And eventually down the pipe, there'll be an Algebra 2 keystone. I don't know if it'll be while you guys are still in school or not, but I'm going to guess they're not going to give you that formula. So, as math teachers, we kind of made the decision you need to have this memorized. Now, I can't memorize things very well. Raise your hand if you're terrible at memorizing. Okay, so a couple of us are in the same boat. But, can you remember songs? Most of us can remember a song. And I'll be very honest, the way I passed biology was I sang my notes. The way I passed world culture, I sang my notes. Silly little things like that, I could actually remember the song when I got into class versus who sailed the ocean in 1492? I actually had to sing it to make it click with me. So, not too bad, right? So, Megan, not a very long song, I promise you. This is not choir practice, okay? But I'd like you on this round to go ahead and sing with the music. X equals negative 3 plus or minus square root 3 squared minus 4ac all over 2a. X equals negative 3 plus or minus square root 3 squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Kind of interesting, some of the faces I'm getting right now. I don't want to sing. Sing along this time. I will tell you right now, I had a student very, very low down in Florida, extremely low, had trouble remembering anything. I gave him this quiz, and I'm not kidding, this is him during the quiz. He jumped out of his seat, started dancing. I'm like, I finally understand something. So, this time, sing along from the beginning. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Come on, get a little excited here. Wake the air up a bit. X equals negative 3 plus or minus square root 3 squared minus 4 all over See, I did this on purpose so that you actually remember this. And if we continue through our lesson tomorrow, we'll probably sing again, just so we get that in our head. When you take your quiz on Monday, there's no problem actually having this memorized. Does that make sense? So, let's do a problem with the quadratic formula. Now, just like the problems we've done before, the quadratic formula has both x squared and x in it. So what do we have to get it equal to before we can even start it? 0. So first thing you all need to do is get it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 35. Now I require a little bit more than maybe Mrs. Ennis did. That's a 5. There we go. Because after you get it equal to 0, the next thing you must do is write down A, B, and C. Now that's something we did back in January, right? Now, in January we only used the letters A and B, but now we actually do need the letter C. So A, B, and C. A is the number that's in front of the x squared. B is the number in front of the x. And C is the number by itself. A is the number in front of the x squared. B is the number in front of the x. And C is the number by itself. Okay. Do not just fill in the formula. First thing we have to do, since we talked about it, is discriminant. We're going to find the discriminant. We always have to find the discriminant because that will tell me how many answers I get. So let's fill in the discriminant formula. B squared. Now every time I put in a letter or a number, I like to put parentheses around it. So B squared minus 4AC. Everybody see where those numbers came from and everything? Type it in your calculator. You don't have to do any of that now by hand. All right. You should get 484. Did you get that? You want to check this, Cassidy? How many real answers or imaginary answers will I get with this? 2 real answers. And you need to write that down. You actually need to say 2 real answers. When you do your homework tonight, you have to do that also. Take a look at the homework sheet. The answer C, it does have that on there. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and fill in my formula. But the great thing is, I don't have to fill in the entire formula because I already have part of it right there. So it goes x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of 484. Yeah! B squared minus 4AC is 484. I already found that. That's what I'm saying. I don't have to fill in the entire formula. I can just put that discriminant number right under there. I have found by doing this, by doing the discriminant separate, then plugging it in, you make 90% less error. Kind of crazy, right? All over to Caleb. Because the formula says x equals negative b. Good question. All right. So So now we need to see, is there a perfect square that goes into 484? Or maybe, is 484 a perfect square? So how would I test if 484 was? Yeah, exactly. It's a large number. You don't have to have it memorized. So second square root, 484. Well, isn't that convenient? It is 22. So I'm going to rewrite this. X equals negative 8 plus or minus 22 over 6. Let's go ahead and simplify that. Now you can use the calculator for whatever you'd like here, but please do 2 times 3 in your head. And now we're going to break this up. On top, I'm going to write negative 8 plus 22 divided by 6. And for the second one, I'll write negative 8 minus 22 divided by 6. Does that make sense? Okay, I just broke up top one's positive, bottom one's negative. Now we're going to type this in our calculator, but the thing is, our calculator's stupid. It has to have those parentheses if you want to type it all in at once. So if you want to do it in 2 steps, you can do that. So let's type in the top one. Negative 8 plus 22 parentheses. Oops, too many 2's for me. Divided by 6. Well, I don't want the decimal. How do you change it to a fraction? Math, enter, enter. Okay. Don't give me decimals unless there's no way to change it to a fraction. So for the top one, we're going to write 7 over 3. Now, how many of you don't want to have to retype that entire thing and mess up? Anybody like me, you don't want to have to type this formula right here again? You ready for a quick way to deal with that? Push the up arrow till it highlights that. Just till it highlights it. Click enter, and now I can go back over where the plus sign is and change it to a minus sign. I don't have to retype that. Negative 5. So, I have 7 over 3 and negative 5. How do you guys feel with that? Not too bad, right? Alright. You can actually keep your notes out. You don't have to write this part down unless you really need to. But I'm going to change this problem slightly. Are you ready? Let's pretend this had been a negative 484. What does that change in this part right here? Mason? It would be an imaginary. Where would I put that? Cassidy? Yep, I would go after the 22. And at this point, I would break it up. I and I. Could I put this in my calculator now? No, so I would not have those. But what number goes into negative 8, 22, and 6? 2? I would need to divide them all by 2. So negative 4 plus 11i over 3. And negative 4 minus 11i over 3. So if there's an imaginary, you still get answers that we're going to write. But we get the letter I in there, and there's no calculator part to get me decimals and fractions. That make sense? Alright, let's practice. Go on a clean sheet of paper for essential work. Here is our essential work.